All right. Welcome back, everybody. We're in Montreal. Big day. A lot of matches. And we're starting with Osaka taking on Samsonova, who have played twice this year, but have played a bunch of times over the last couple of years because I feel like in the last 2 years, they've played 4 times. I think we've watched every match. They played Berlin this year. They played Miami this year. They played Madrid last year, and they played Indian Wells. So they played 3 times at 1,000. This is the 4th different 1,000 that they've played. Osaka's won the 2 hard court matches. Samsonova's won the 2 other matches, which are one on grass, one on a clay court. So there it is. There's your preview. 2-0 is the head-to-head. 2-0 is the head-to-head. But how are we? What's going on? Big day. Swiatek after this. Raducanu coming up later against Stearns. Pegula takes on Zachary. That's a whole thing. So let's see what happens. Osaka to serve. I'm going to go Osaka in 3. I reckon she'll keep the hard court dominance in this match. That's my prediction. Also, Keys, I think, is playing, coming on now. Rublev's about to start as well. Joint is about to play as well. Later today, you got Shelton, Tiafo. Feast is playing. Demonor's playing. Fritz is playing. On the women's side, you got Pegula. Mukova's playing later. Anisimova is playing later. As Osaka loses the first point, love 15. What the hell? All right. Love 30. Osaka makes a couple of errors. As Osaka hits a great cross-court forehand winner. And it's 15-30. All right, 15-30. Is Vicharovsky there? I don't think so. I mean, I think he was on his way. I don't know if he was. By the way, I think 15-40. We get confused because there's like a lot of whenever. I mean, it's happened a couple of times already, like the last couple of weeks. That like Uncle Tony was with Zverev and Agassi was with Runa and. So Osaka apparently it's a trial. So it's not official. He's coming over to work with her on a trial basis. So it's nothing confirmed. Like it's nothing official. It's he's just working with her over the next couple of weeks to see if it works. You know, it's not 100%. They're not going to work together for the next 6 months. At this stage, in the net by Osaka, it's only he's coming over to work with her on a trial basis, which means maybe that means this week, maybe it means the U.S. Open, maybe it does mean the rest of the year. But he was at the practice. Okay, well he's there then. He's there. Okay. There's nothing official yet. It's just that he's there working with her on a trial before they do anything. Ugh. If she loses today without him, the trial is over already. He's there, though. So, if she loses today, I don't think they're going to... What, 2 days? They're going to work together for 2 days and then... No, I don't think so. I think the trial will last a little longer than 2 days. Vicharovsky should be working with Samsonova. She has more potential at this stage. Why do you consistently come into the chat when we watch Naomi Osaka and just not... Like, you don't like her, don't come. Because, like, because you almost got me. I almost defended... Like, you almost got me. But I'm not going to entertain your idea because you're just saying that because you don't like Osaka. It's not because you think Samsonova and Vicharovsky would actually be a good idea. If Osaka was playing against the number 300 in the world, you'd say the same thing. So I'm not going to like entertain your idea. You're just saying it because you're anti Osaka. That's it. But instead of coming out and saying, "Oh, I wish Vicharovsky wouldn't waste his time with Osaka," you'd rather say, "Oh, he should be work." You try and pretend like you know. I know. Come on, just don't watch Osaka. It's better for everybody. 30 love. You're not fooling anybody. Come on. Don't pretend like you care about Samsonova. Just don't watch Osaka. You look refreshed, Greg's. I feel like shit, so thank you. 30 love. Is it a backhand rally? Another one to the forehand of Osaka. Into the forehand of Samsonova. And Samsonova puts away the winner. And it's 40 love. Imagine not liking a player but always watching their matches and letting the player live rent-free in your head. It's weird, eh? So weird. And then take a step, and then you come into a live stream chat of a guy at 1 a.m. sitting around half asleep watching that particular player, and you say things about it. It's crazy. Like, how do you have time? Don't you have? Surely there's something more productive you can do with your time. 40 love. There's a return there by Osaka. 2 love Samsonova. It's a good start. Sometimes coming home is the boldest step forward. Steph on working with his dad again. Yeah, I'm too tired to process that. 2 love. Cam sounds sick to me. No, I'm just tired. I'm just still waking up. Going to bed at 6 o'clock p.m. and waking up at 1 a.m. is it just takes a little while to warm up. 15 love. Osaka gets a winner. I'm glad I missed that Collins match with Gauff. Yeah. Look, it wasn't the best match, but it was definitely an experience. You know, it wasn't the greatest quality match, and it was a bit hard to watch at times, but it was still worth. I mean, it was something else to watch. 30 love, good serving Osaka. What happened to my finger? I cut it off. Accidentally, not on purpose. 30 love. As Osaka serves a fault, second serve. As the return goes into the forehand of Osaka. Samsonova backhand. And Osaka backhand in the net. 30-15. Do you think Gauff's double faults were nerves or just bad serving? No, I think it was a combination of things, to be honest. As with a falling out of the backhand of Samsonova, and Samsonova hits out 40-15. Well, I think part of it, there's obviously... Pardon me. There's obviously... It's not the first time it's happened, right? So there's obviously a technical or, psychological reason for her, when she starts double faulting, maybe there's if she double faults X amount of times in the first 30 minutes, it gets in her head and she then, doesn't trust her serve that day and, bad things happen. But I also think we gotta remember that she was playing Danielle Collins, who she'd never played before. And Collins has a big return, so like playing against somebody, and I'm not saying that 20, that many double faults should, look, Swiatek, when she plays Collins, she doesn't double fault 20 times, right? And her serve, is more vulnerable than Gauff. But I think that some of those double faults were because she was playing Danielle Collins, that she was scared that the second serve was going to be weak and then that it would get attacked and, she was on the back foot. So so I think that, let's say a quarter of the double faults were because she was playing Collins and she was, maybe a bit worried about the returns. But I wouldn't say all of them. No way. But then, because obviously she gets in a funk against other players who doesn't, who are not Danielle Collins. So I think part of it's because of the opponent. Part of it, probably the major part of it is psychological. Again, I think she just gets in a funk, and it probably, if she's serving well in the first few games, maybe that doesn't happen. But it depends on how she starts. If she serves, I guess, starts serving badly, or maybe it might even go back to before the match, right? In the practice, maybe in the morning she was not making serves, and she's thinking, "Shit, my serve's not working today." Only she'll be able to tell us that, But maybe it is. It goes back to to the morning practice where she might have been serving badly there, and then she comes out of the match and is remembering those things and going, "Oh man, I wasn't serving well before," and the confidence is already gone. So yeah, look, we'd be obviously talking about it a lot differently if she lost, right? If she had lost, we would have been saying, well, she lost because of this. But because she won, we can discuss it and we could talk about it a little bit less. It nearly costed the match, but it didn't, so it's okay. But she can't do it again. You can't get away with that every day. You hit 20. Remember, there's 20. If you win 24 points, you only need to win 24 points to win a set, right? Like 6 games, 4 sixes, 4 points in a game, 6 games, 4 6 24. 24 points. I know that's not accurate, but not always. But if you win 24 points in a row, you win the set. And she hit 23 double faults. So she gave away almost a set worth, 6 games worth of double faults. And double faults are the worst because the serve is the only thing that you're in control of, right? Everything else in tennis, you're reacting. Return, you're reacting to what happens with the serve. On the ground strokes, you're reacting to the person who is hitting the ball. You're reacting to a shot coming to you. But the serve is something that you're starting the point. So that's why we all look at double faults as the worst thing you can do, because that's the thing that you have 100% control over, except for maybe if there's weather conditions. But the serve is you can toss the ball up as many times as you want and get that perfect ball toss to get that perfect serve exactly where you want it. Like it's the only thing you can control. So when you hit 23 double faults, even if you hit 5 double faults in a match, it's not great, you know. That's why double faults are, we talk about errors and unforced errors. You can hit 60 unforced errors, but if you hit 10 double faults, we're going to talk about the 10 double faults more because it's such an important thing, you know. 40-15. But we'll see what happens tomorrow. Hopefully, it was just a one-off and she has better serving tomorrow. Also, remember, it is Gauff's first hardcourt match, and she also was coming off a loss at Wimbledon, so she hadn't won a match since the French Open, so maybe that was playing on her a little bit. Maybe there was that as well. 40-30. She hadn't won a match in almost... Well, shit, the French Open was a long time ago now. 2 months ago almost. Forehand goes into the backhand of Osaka. Forehand of Samsonova goes to the forehand of Osaka, to the forehand of Samsonova. She hits a winner, 3-1. Why is Gauff's double faults always a big issue? She wins slams regularly. I mean, do I have to answer that? I feel like it's kind of self-explanatory. Okay, she double faults 23 times in the second round of Canada. She wins. Okay, let's say she just goes, oh, well, who cares? Then what happens when we get to the French, U.S. Open semifinals? It happens, and she plays someone like, she plays someone like Sabalenka, or she plays, someone better. That's when it becomes the bigger problem. She has won 2 slams, but it's the what if it happens. You can get away with it in the first round of Canada. Even if she had lost, we would have thought, look, no big deal. She'll rebound in Cincy. But it's because it could be a problem in the biggest matches. It might not be right now. Yeah, she's won 2 slams. But what happens if it happens at the US Open in the semis? What happens if it happens in the final of the slam? That seems self-explanatory. It's like, I guess if one of the lights in your car go off, like the oil light, and you're like, but my car's still running, it's still okay. Yeah, but what happened? Eventually, it's going to break down in the worst time, like on the freeway, right, or the highway. So, obviously, you got to fix the problem before it before it blows up in your face in the wrong time. She can't be like, well, I won. Who cares? We'll just forget about that match. No, she'll have to figure it out, because if it does happen at the wrong time, it's going to be terrible. She double faults 20 times in the Grand Slam final. That'd be the worst thing, What's happening with this match now? Not much. Coco lost Rome Open because of double fault. Yeah, and look, Rome is obviously a big trophy, but it's when it happens at the slams that it's going to be, especially when in the most important times. 30-all. If Coco gets a handle on her double faults, would she have the best serve on tour? She'll have one of them, yeah. Definitely one of them. The serve hits it out, it's 40-30. But see, chat, so the good thing for Gauff is that somebody recently also had this issue. In fact, 2 players recently had these issues in the last 5 years where their serve was a big problem. And both of them, one of them figured it out to way more success, but both of them have figured it out. So it's not, she's going to serve bad and her serve is just going to be like this forever. No, because Sabalenka, who hits Samsonova hits it out in 3-2. Sabalenka is the best example of someone who, before 2023, was the double fault queen, in her words. And then in 2023, before the season, she figured it out. And then look at her now. Now she's number 1. Now she's won multiple slams. She's very consistent. She doesn't double fault that much. And Zverev is the other one, right? Not as much success on the Grand Slams yet, but he was the double fault king a couple of years ago, and he couldn't. He would double fault. It cost him the US Open in 2023 or 2020. Sorry, in 2020, and he's figured it out. At least, they have their days, but it's not a problem anymore. It's not as big of a problem anymore. So Gauff can look at them and go, okay, how did they do it? So at least there's some. And then she's also young too, right? She's only 21, so she's got. It's not the end of the world. And plus, she's also won 2 slams, so she, it's not been a problem that she can't take it to the next level. It's just that it pops up more than we talk about it more than more than we should. Gauff has a solid game. It doesn't matter. Oh man, bro, you're coming up with terrible takes. Whatever. All right, 3-2. It's 2-all the head-to-head. She could double fault 25 times in a final and still win it, and then go outside and get hit by a bus. Well, that's wild. Why would you say that? By the way, I don't think you can hit 25 double faults in a Grand Slam final and get away with that. Like I said, you can get away with hitting 25 double faults or 23 double faults in the second round against somebody who was also hitting a lot of double faults. Like Collins, she hit a lot of double faults too, but she hit 12 or 11. Collins also served poor, but if Collins doesn't serve that many double faults, she probably wins. There was a lot of errors from Collins as well. Oh, I love 15. 13, there you go. Yeah, if Collins serves a bit better, she wins that match. Gauff got lucky. Gauff was 2 points away. Remember, Collins served for the match and was at deuce. I think it was. Was it deuce and serving for the match? Or no, it was 5-4, and she was 2 points away from winning, and she also served for the match. So Collins should have won that match, right? Again, so Gauff 23 double faults got lucky. She got lucky. She knows as much as anybody. We're saying all the things that she and her team already know. We're not saying anything new. That she's not going to win the tournament by serving 23 double faults every day. She got lucky. 15:30, Samsonova in the net. Let's just hope that tomorrow when she plays, she doesn't double fault as many times. Because sometimes Gauff can do this, and then the next match she can be she can hit 4 double faults and hit 20 aces. Because that was a problem too. She wasn't hitting aces. She only hit 3 aces, and she's playing Kudermetova tomorrow, which is not an easy match. Kudermetova is very dangerous, especially because she seems to be getting back in form. As Samsonova wins the point, 30-all. Anyways. Maya joint at 5-1 in the first set. Let's go. And Madison Keys up 4-1. 30-all. As a return goes in the backhand of Samsonova. Backhand of Osaka. Samsonova goes to the forehand of Osaka to the forehand of Samsonova. Osaka slice. Into the forehand of Samsonova. Osaka forehand again to the forehand of Samsonova. Into the forehand of Osaka, who hits a winner down the line. Okay, Osaka's warmed up. 30-40. Didn't Raducanu serve 20 double faults against Sabalenka? Not that I can tell. Did you hear about what Kudermetova said about Runa? Yeah, and I don't care. 30-40. Sigmund's got a leg injury. Oh, that sucks. She played a 3-hour marathon in the first round, though. All right, 30-40. As a bit of serve into the forehand. It's too strong. Great serve, Samsonova. Deuce. I think people should pay attention to Joint over Eala because I feel Joint is better than Eala. And why are you watching this match? Go watch Joint. Practice what you preach. All right. Deuce. As the return goes in the forehand to Samsonova, she puts it away. Advantage Samsonova. I feel like telling people who they should watch doesn't work. Well, I like Joint as much as anyone because obviously Australian, but it's like saying I mean it's the same thing as like, you know, people should watch, you know, Mensik over Fonseca, right? Yeah. But like people still want to watch Fonseca, they're not going to change their mind, you know. You can't just, you know, it's not that people are picking to watch the Eala over Joint. It's that the Eala's got a lot more fans, you know, and they're going to be fans of her no matter what. As Samsonova hits a lovely winner, and it's 4-2. Cam does not like watching Australians because they always lose. Why'd you have to say the last part? That was mean. Why'd you say the last part? You could have just left it at Cam doesn't like watching Australians. Not the losing. I mean, Joint's winning right now, so you can get stuffed. You didn't have to say the last bit. That was unnecessary. Demon Or just won in Washington, so stop lying. I'm not a Joint fan or a Eala hater, but Joint has consistency, which Eala is missing. Yeah, look, I think they're both. I think both should be people that two players that people should definitely pay attention to. Like, I don't think there's, you know, I would argue that Eala's been consistent. You know what? Look at her grass court matches. She played so much tennis over the grass season. Joint is better on clay, which is why she's probably felt more consistent because she's better on clay, and Eala didn't do much on the clay. And also this week, I mean, Joint. You know, Joint's had, you know, got maybe a tired Fernandez in the first round, and then today she's doing well so far. Whereas Eala, who did have a bad shoulder, you know, in the first round against Vondi, was a tough first round, right? So I feel, you know, also, you know, Eala had to play. I mean, they both lost first round Wimbledon. So, you know, after that epic match they played in Eastbourne, but I think they both should be, you know, looked, you know, seen as like serious future stars. Yeah, people say they should watch Fonseca watch Tien instead of Fonseca. It's like, well, you can watch whoever you want, but yeah, we've got to pay attention to Tien, Fonseca, Mensik. You know, it's about paying attention to all of them. You don't just have to pick one or the other. You know, same age as so in the future, both will be compared to each other. Will play match. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, and Joint's had won 2 titles this year. So yeah, Joint, you know, like Mensik Fonseca, as Osaka's a winner 4-3. Like the Mensik Fonseca comparison, yeah, Mensik's had a better start. You know, he's beaten Djokovic. He's won a 1,000 title. You know, there's a lot of things that he's done that Fonseca hasn't yet. I mean, yeah, you should watch all of them. Eala just gets a lot more. She gets a lot more. I don't know, a lot more. What's the word? It's too early for this. She gets a lot more publicity because, one, she's from a country that has, you know, that is not massive in tennis. So she's, you know, it's kind of like Japan as well in tennis. You know, the Japanese players get so much hype. You know, Osaka, Nishikori, even when they're not doing so great. You know, so I think that's part of it. Whereas Joint is from Australia, where we've got a lot of successful sporting stars, and Joint adds to that. So a lot of people don't pay attention to to the tennis stars as much because they've got, we're lucky enough to have a lot of different sporting, champions. So I think that has a thing, and plus the Philippines are way bigger than Australia, I remember Barty at her peak. We'd watch Barty back in like 2020 and 2021, and no one would really pay attention. She was the number one, and people wouldn't really pay attention as much as people paid attention to Osaka, who was dropping, or Halep, or even Serena, who wasn't up the top, right? And obviously Serena is a terrible example, but because she's the greatest of all time, and everyone's going to watch her for always. But even when Barty was the number one, she wasn't even in Australia. She didn't get as much credit as other sports, So I think it's just sort of that as well. Joint, unfortunately, is not going to get as much recognition because of it's like sport. We've got so many sports stars; it's oversaturated that she's going to get lost in the amount of players, the people that we have, the athletes. Whereas in the Philippines, in the sports arena, Manny Pacquiao, who just had a fight, I think, that's a huge thing. And then you got Eala, who's doing well. So there's I think maybe 5 times more people in the Philippines than Australia as well. So that helps, having a bigger population. So I think that's how I see the reason why Eala gets more, I guess, hype than Joint. But you should watch both for sure. You should keep an eye on both because they're both like after their first match. I think, or their match the other day. I think there's going to be a potential to be a great rivalry. It was one of the greatest matches of the year. That final, 30 love. Osaka returns to the forehand of Samsonova. Osaka backhand into the backhand of Samsonova again to the backhand of Osaka, who overhits it. It's 40 love. Samsonova serves an ace. And it's 5-3. Ah, 15 love. Serena is the greatest of all time. You are clueless. Woke, likely both. Graf and Navratilova both better. You love pushing the narrative, clown. Nick, could you define woke for me, please? I don't understand what you're talking about. Can you define? Can you define what you mean by woke? I'm confused. 30 love. I'm an idiot. Don't use big words, please. Please use terms I'm familiar with. $40 love. Woke means anything that people don't agree with. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Anyways, 5-4. Samsonova's going to serve for the first set. Person must be fun at parties. Yeah. All right. Well, that a certain kind of person doesn't agree with. Yeah, I think if you don't agree with me, you don't have to make it political. But that's all right. We can just disagree. It's okay. I know in 2025 everybody wants to fight each other and we all want to be right, but sometimes we can just be like, you know what? I think this, you think this. It's fine. It's okay. But if you could just define it, that'd be really helpful. Have you noticed Cam changed his office and looks good, but I don't see Mia because Mia's sleeping because it's 1 a.m. Rublev broken back 30 minutes from 5 games already. Okay. That match is taking forever. Will you please describe the game? Yep. Samsonova serving for the set. All right, 5-4. Samsonova serving for the set. By the way, apparently Samsonova has hit the biggest first serve of the tournament so far. 200 kilometers an hour, the biggest serve of the tournament so far. As return goes in the forehand of Samsonova. Samsonova hits it out, love 15. Keys 6-2. Shit. That's a great start. By the way, Kazakina's playing, Dash is playing doubles. Love that. I love 15. That goes out in the return from Osaka, 15. Oh, by the way, chat, the umpire's chair is very... Why is it so bright? It's so... The umpire's chair is completely covered. It looks like Speed completely painted. It doesn't even blend into the... Why is the umpire's chair purple? I don't know. There's no purple on the court except for the umpire's chair. The whole chair's just been dipped in purple paint. There's no purple anywhere else. That's the only thing it's just a bright purple chair. From roof to the foundation, it's just a purple chair. It's obviously for the sponsors, but that's just so weird. It does not have any it's just a chair, purple chair. It doesn't fit in at all. Weird as hell. It's obviously, again, it's the sponsors. It's because of the sponsor, but it's just weird that the whole chair is dedicated to the sponsor. Yeah, we want to buy the umpire's chair, please. Yeah. We'll pay for the chair. You got to paint it purple though. It's wild. I don't think I've ever seen that. As that goes in the net by Osaka, 30-0. It's not royal. It's not really a royal purple. It's kind of like a lavender. But it doesn't fit in at all. I mean, look at the rest of the stadium. It clashes with all the other colors. It doesn't blend in at all. It's not subtle. 30-0. Dash is playing with Noskova. All right, 30-0. Samsonova serves. To forehand of Osaka. Samsonova forehand to the backhand of Osaka. Into the forehand of Samsonova. Osaka forehand. It goes long and it's set point, 40-30. Tennis Channel is showing Osaka, not Keys. No respect for Maddie. Yeah, I feel like it's not... I don't think they're disrespecting Keys. I think they're just showing center court. And they're probably showing Keys on another channel. On their platform. I don't think it's a... I don't think it's a disrespect. 40-30. Serving to the backhand of Osaka. Forehand from Samsonova. Osaka backhand. Samsonova backhand goes in the forehand of Osaka. To the backhand of Samsonova as Osaka forehand into the forehand of Samsonova. Forehand of Osaka again as Samsonova gets to the forehand of Osaka. Goes down the line. Samsonova slice. Hits the tape, went over. She wins the set. Gets a little lucky in the end, but 6-4. All right. First set in the bag. Only the one breaker serve and only 3 break points. So very, very good serving. Maybe it's because we're coming off yesterday's match with Gauff and Collins, where the serving was hard to watch. But that was very good serving. Only, no double faults, 7 aces combined. That was a great set of tennis by both. 10 winners and 6 errors by Samsonova. 9 winners and 6 errors by Osaka. That was a quality set of tennis, by both. It was only one break that was early in the set. It's a great set of tennis. Some may consider my opinion harsh, but I don't see her even close to winning a slam or a 1,000. Who's that? Gotta be more specific. Who? Osaka? Or somebody else? Cam, do you think Osaka got lucky with her slam wins? Come on, that's not a serious question, is it? Okay, come on. Yeah, thank you. I'm looking at the schedule now. All right, so tomorrow night's looking pretty interesting. Again, tomorrow, Montreal's the tournament to watch, You were just trolling? I'm good, because it was a terrible observation. So, yeah. But, I don't have to answer that. You know the answer. By the way, tomorrow on the women's side, Gauff versus Kudermetova. And maybe Andreeva joint. We might watch that. But I'll break my rule if that becomes a thing. Because Andreeva joint, I feel like, is almost like we've just been talking about how, we watch Eala and joint also should get recognition, but also Andreeva's part of that same generation, right? They're all that sort of, the young players, the teenagers coming through. So we should, if that becomes a thing, joint versus Andreeva could be really fun. So we might do that one as well. Yeah, tomorrow's kind of mid on both sides. The night matches tomorrow for the men is all right. Zverev versus Analdi is a good win, a good match. Popper and Medvedev's good. Rune Muller's interesting. So we might tune into some of the Toronto tomorrow. Osaka beats Serena. What nonsense is that about luck? Hey, don't say, don't, I don't know, don't sound woke or whatever that guy said. What does it woke mean though? I don't understand. Is that guy still here? Don't give Serena any credit, man. I love 40. Break point, Samsonova to get the break in the second. watch Mboko and Tien. Mboko, I love that. I love Kenin, but I love that Mboko won yesterday. She dominated too. It was awesome. I hope we get Gauff versus Mboko fourth round. Mboko's another one of those players, Eala, Joint, Mboko, Andreeva. They're all that generation, All right, 15:40. Why can't be Osaka good in grass? I don't know. Yeah, Mbaka's great. She's been great this year. We talked about her at length the other day, where she's won a lot of trophies on the WTA, the ITF circuit. She's been great. Players progressed. Osaka is not exceptional for a reason. Stop. We get it. You don't like Osaka. You don't need to, convince us that you don't like her. We get it. 30-40. As the return goes into the forehand of Osaka, into the forehand of Samsonova, Osaka backhand, to the forehand of Samsonova, Osaka forehand, again the forehand of Samsonova, and Samsonova hits it out, and Osaka gets the deuce from love 40. All right, love 40. Deuce from love 40 down. Yeah, Mboko's from Canada, yeah. As that goes in the net from Samsonova, revenge Osaka. By the way, chat, did anyone watch Aussie's funeral celebration that they did? That's so sad when I feel so bad for Sharon. So sad, but it was a good celebration. But you gotta feel for the family. But I loved how they had the marching band playing all the songs. Like it felt way more like it was way more upbeat with the music, But as soon as the family come out onto the bridge, and I just was like, it's rough. I've been watching so much of the Osbournes podcast. So seeing them, I was like, sad. As Osaka in their advantage, Samsonova. Advantage Samsonova. As Osaka serves a fault, second serve. Randy Rhodes is the reason I play guitar. Love Ozzy and Black Sabbath. That's awesome. As a let from Osaka. Serve to the back in Samsonova. Samsonova hits it out. Osaka back to deuce. You can watch it on YouTube. It's like there's so many clips on YouTube of the funeral. A forehand rally. Osaka hits it down the line, but it's wide. Advantage Samsonova. Advantage Samsonova. As a return goes to the backhand of Osaka. Forehand from Samsonova. Again, the backhand of Osaka. Samsonova forehand to the forehand of Osaka on the stretch. Samsonova gets it back, but hits it out. And Osaka again survives. Deuce. Have to dig out my Sabbath vinyls and have my own tribute. Yeah, I got a couple of CDs in the mail yesterday. That I got because I just want to listen to, like, there's so many songs on these. So I got like the Sabbath, like the best of Sabbath, and then the best of Aussie. There's like 30 songs on this one. So I'm gonna chuck these on today and just have these on in the background once. Well, not now. We'll get in trouble. But yeah, I got the best of both. All right, advantage Osaka. As that goes out by Samsonova, Osaka survives. That was 5 break points in the game. Good save. Good save. Speaking of musicians, did you manage to attend Green Day concert as you're a big fan? I'm not a big fan of Green Day. Not really. I like their music, but I was it's funny because, like, my best friend loves Green Day, like back in the day, in the 2000s was like Green Day was the shit, right? My brother massive loved Green Day as well. But I was Good Charlotte. I was listening to Good Charlotte. That was my choice. I like Green Day. I like their music. I got their albums the other day. I got Dookie, and I just it's cool to listen to the whole thing. But if I had to pick what band to listen to, I wouldn't pick Green Day as my number one, But I like their music. Not a big fan. Good Charlotte over Green Day, you're surely trolling. No. I like Good Charlotte's music. What's wrong? Why would I be trolling? 15 Love. But again, you can like both. But I listen to way more Good Charlotte than I did Green Day. I think it's because when American Idiot came out, everybody was playing American Idiot, and that was the only thing that you would hear. And I was like, it just got overplayed, the whole, But I like, there's Wake Me Up When September Ends. I mean, this Holiday, they've got lots of great songs, that I like, but I feel like it got so overplayed back in the 2000s that Green Day was just Then I was like, no, I like Good Charlotte. I had the Young and the Restless album that I just listen to all the time. But they're both good. They're both good. Yeah, I like both, but I didn't go to any Good Charlotte or Green Day concerts. But Mr. Brightside and the Killers, that one song, Can't Stand It Now. Yeah, the Killers are co-worker music. 40 laugh. That's the definition of co-worker music, right? Green Day wear mascara, hard pass. Bro, Aussie wore mascara. There's nothing wrong with looking like a badass rock star. What are you talking about? Yeah, Bowie wore mascara. I'm sure the Stones wore mascara. Like, come on now. You love the Killers? Hey, look, nothing wrong with love of the Killers. They're just like, it's just that Mr. Brightside, gets played at every is on every, like, the default playlist for every single celebration. And it's a little bit overplayed. It's like Panic at the Disco. I'm like, nah. It's too fluffy. I'd rather go like Fall Out Boy, where it's a little bit more like, they got a little bit more, not much, but slightly more grit, It's a little darker, I used to listen to Fall Out Boy heaps. That was probably maybe more than any of them. I'm still looking for the Fallout album that I had back in the day. All right. Backhand return. 1-0 here. The backhand goes out by Samsonova and it's 15-love. I know Cam listens to Centuries on repeat. I hate that song. That's one of my least favorite songs from Fall Out Boy. And Samsonova hits a volley. Winner, and it's 15-0. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that one. $15-0. There's Osaka serves a fault, second serve. As the return goes in the backhand of Osaka. Osaka down 15-30. But Chad, I listen to all kinds of music because of my parents. Like from all the way back when I can remember, we always, like, Mum always put music on. Dad was always playing music. Like my musical, it depends on the day. I'll be listening to Aussie one day, and then I'll be listening to friggin' something else the next day. It's just like so, As we're falling down the line into the back end of Samsonova, good pickup, and then Osaka hits a wide 15-40. Now, I don't really listen to classical. That's probably the only genre I don't get into as much. But I don't mind like a piano version of like a modern song. Like I'll listen to like a piano version of something, but not really a classical. But yeah, love music's great. I love music. 15-40. Is it a fault second serve? Second serve. Into the forehand Samsonova. Forehand from Osaka goes wide. There's the break. 2-1 in the second. I grew up on Tom Jones and Bobby Vinton. Haha. I don't know who that second one is, but that's cool. I used to rummage through my dad's tapes, then CDs. That's how I got into music. Yeah. Do you think Swiatek stands a chance today? Yes, I think she wins. Ooh, Key's up 4-1 in the second, is she? Okay. That's great. Is Swiatek Bagels go? I have to get this name right. Is it Go or Goo? I think it's go, right? Somebody will tell me. Hang on, let me have a listen. Hang on. Okay, hang on. Here we go. Here we go. Guo. Gua? Gua. Gua? Hanyu Gua? Is that what I'm hearing? Gua? Chat, where are the Mandarin speakers? Gore. Yeah, is that what I'm hearing? Gua. Right? So we avoid me butchering it. That's good. Gua. You see, like, you're saying two syllables like duo. I don't think it's guo. I'm pretty sure it's not that. I think it's gua. I just heard somebody say this is how you pronounce it in Mandarin. And it was pronounced gua. So I'm going to go with that. Love 15. As a return goes in the forehand of Samsonova. Forehand now from Osaka. The forehand of Samsonova. As a forehand on the stretch from Osaka. Samsonova forehand winner. 15-0. It's pronounced gore. Gore. You're doing whatever you're doing all right. Thank you. Is it gore? Like gore? I'm going to go with gore. Again, let me have a listen. Gua. I'm hearing gua. Gua. Let me listen. I think it's gua. I think it's gua.
The following pronunciation is brought to you by Pronounced.
Yeah, gua. So it's pronounced G, like in English, it's GWO. Gua. Gua. Again, I'm sure somebody's gonna help me in the next match. Anyway, it's 30-40. I think it's Gua. Gua. Anyways, 30-40. As we just serve into the backhand of Osaka. Return goes to forehand to Samsonova. Osaka backhand down the line. Samsonova gets with the forehand on the stretch. Osaka forehand cross, and Samsonova goes down the line for a winner. Too good. Deuce. You get the deuce. By the way, the colors, I can't change the camera is what it is. I don't know why. Like, this is a new camera, so I don't think it's. I think it's just because the background has got a. No, I made it worse. It's because the couch is green and it's picking up this color and it's making everything weird. There's not much I can do. And the lighting's like kind of shitty, but that's just because it's a different new camera. Samsonova holds 3-1. By Key's about to win. What if ATP WTA hire you as a sideline commentator? We'll have no more streams. Yeah, don't worry, that's not going to happen. 3-1. As Osaka wins the first one, 15 love. Cam, you're great at this. You pronounce Swiatek better than Andy Roddick. Well, the reason why I pronounce things possibly if good as good as, or if not better than people on TV, is because the people on TV don't get the reaction of the people listening to their broadcast like I do. So for the reason is because it's more out of fear than anything. Because if I don't get it right, I'm going to hear about it. I'm going to read all those comments, tell me how stupid I am. So it's more just, if I get it right, then nobody can talk shit. Whereas on the TV, you can get it wrong and never correct yourself and never hear the response from this audience because they can't listen. You just don't listen to the audience, you know? Whereas I get a reaction, an instant reaction. So if I start fucking up someone's name, I'm gonna hear it. I hear about it all the time. So I'd rather get it right and save the confrontation than and look, I don't get them all right. I mean, I still hear like, oh, you say this wrong, and I'm like, yeah, I know. Some names I just can't pronounce. That's just the way it is, but I try. So why mispronounce all the Russian last names? See, I do that on purpose. Didn't you? It's because I try. But I've also got an accent. You know, I'm Australian, so we talk differently. Also, the English translation comes off. I can't roll my R's. Like, there's a lot of reasons why I physically cannot say certain names properly. But I do my best. Because that's all you can do in live chat is your best. But if I try and make an effort. If I'm fucking something up, I try and make an effort to fix it. So that's the big reason, you know, to save me having 100 people say that I'm saying it wrong. You know, I'll try and get it right as close as I can. Yeah, the audience come out with pitchforks. Yeah, I got to try and get it right to save that. You're right. Most commentators not pronounce Alcaraz as Alcaraz. But the thing with that is they're both right. You can say Alcaraz and you can say Alcaraz, and they're both correct. You know, one is the English way and the other way is the Spanish way. And you can say either way and it's fine. I feel like if I started saying Alcaraz, people will get pissed because Alcaraz is... People hate when people on TV try and pronounce it the Spanish way, you know. So I say Alcaraz, but we know who we're talking about, you know. I feel like you could say it both, and it's not... You can say it both ways. There's no... It seems like both of those are correct, right? But yeah. All right, 15 all. Samsonova serves. Yeah, see, I'm even butchering Samsonova. So it's Samsonova. Right? I mean, you know, I try and get it right. By the way, how does Samsonova say her name? Because that's the way. If they say it, the way they say it is the way I'll say it. What does she say it? How does she say it?
Hi, my name is Liudmila Samsonova.
Samsonova. All right, I'm going to go with that now. See? Samsonova. Easy. And now I got to retrain my brain to not say it the other way. Samsonova. She's winning, by the way. There's a return. No, it's a fault. 30-15. Onto the backhand return out of the backhand of Samsonova. As we're to find out from Osaka. Samsonova forehand. As Osaka forehand goes wide and it's 40-15. Whatever football commentators use to try and pronounce names right works well most of the time. Yeah, but the thing that they would use is it's just about learning. Like, you know, trying to learn how to say the names. You know, it's homework, but really, you know. The hard part about tennis is that, like, you've got to learn. Like, you can't just be like, oh well, I'm just going to learn all these names that are in European languages. You know, the way that things are said in Europe compared to America, compared to Australia, compared to Asia is so much different. So different. So, you know, the same name that, you know, especially in China. I feel like Mandarin is the letters are not pronounced the same in English as they are in Mandarin. So, like, I always butcher the Chinese names because I feel like they're, you know, I read it in English and it's not the same as in it's you know, same letters, different sounds. You know, I think that's the hardest part about in tennis because you know, because there's just so many different languages you got to like wrap your head around. You know, if you want to get them all right, and you want to get them, you know, I want to try and get them right because. You know, I don't want to miss... I mean, nothing worse than somebody saying your name wrong. Uh, 4-2. Samsonova. Is it a 4 now from Osaka? Samsonova in the net. And it's 15 love. As a return goes in the net from Samsonova, and it's 30 love. Serve into the backhand of Samsonova. Backhand out from Osaka down the line's a winner. 40 love. As Osaka with a great serve, and she holds. But Samsonova has the lead. I think you're doing great. Thank you. I'm trying. I'm always learning, you know. Paolini is difficult for English speakers. Most of them pronounce it Paolini, not Paolini. I say Paolini, like Pal. Isn't that? I mean, I don't think it's that hard. Is Paolini like Paul, like Paolini? No one complains about how I say it, so I'm going to say it like that until somebody says wrong. Well, McEnroe had your attitude towards pronouncing names properly. Yeah, but Mac, Mac won 8 Grand Slams, 7 Grand Slams, right? He doesn't need to pronounce. If I won that many Grand Slams, you know, maybe I'd be able to, get away with mispronouncing a couple of things, but. See, I got the disadvantage of not having that experience, so I got to make sure I get the little things right. So then people, you know what I mean. I got to try and get all the names right. I got to do that stuff right. He's not bad. I think Mac pronounces things right, but again, there's so many, like I said, there's so many names, to learn. You're not going to get them all right. Paolini, it's correct. Good pronunciation. Yeah. I mean, I've never had anyone say anything about Paolini. All right. 4-3 Samsonova. As with a backhand from Osaka. Samsonova backhand down the line. Osaka hits with the forehand. Samsonova forehand. Is a winner. 15 love. Paolini disabled Instagram comments. That's fair enough. That is fair enough. Chad, I feel like not too distant future, we're going to have a generation of tennis players that are not going to use social media. I feel like we're not far away from that happening. As an ace out wide from Samsonova, 30 love. I feel like a generation or two coming up, they might avoid using social media altogether because we're seeing how that's not good for us as fans because it means we don't get that insight into our favorite players. But it might not be worth it, to be, to take the. The bad part of social media, along with trying to become a professional tennis player, right? I mean, that's a lot to deal with. I am noticing a lot of the young players don't have Twitter accounts, so maybe it's the start. That social media might not be something that the generation, the next generation of players involve themselves with, Or they give someone else the keys to the social media to to work on, but they don't participate in using it, Samsonova 5-3. They'll use it for sponsors and but they won't be on it, They won't be in the comments. They won't be, that's what social media was for. That's why it was and still is really good, It's there's no wall between fans and players. It was a connection, a direct connection for celebrities and athletes and musicians to talk to their fans, and talk to the audience. But then obviously the audience can also talk back, and people take it so now it's just people take it so far, and people ruin nice things, right? 15 love. Osaka 7 to stay in the match. $30 love. I think that will make them more focused. Social media weakens the mind unless it's Ken's play. Well, see, this is not. I don't know. I feel like this is different. As that goes in it from Osaka 30-15. Like, I don't think this is the same as we're not like directly talking. Like we're not like I'm commenting on players and we're talking about players. But we're not talking to them, right? This is not directed at anybody. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, where this is more of a community discussion like you would have, in a forum or you'd have, it's different if like a player came in here and started talking to us and commenting about what we're talking about, whatever. But I feel like this is like this is like going to the pub and talking about players and talking about the sport instead of going to like the game and saying it to the player at the, saying, oh, this person's hitting, 27 double five, This is a community space, right? This is basically a bar or a pub, a sports bar where we're all just a bunch of fans hanging out, watching a sport, talking about it, discussing things, like you would in real life. Whereas, the bad part or the bad thing with social media is the people that are going directly to those players and then talking to them or at them and saying crazy shit. And we keep it civil here. We don't say crazy things here, right? We're not here yelling. I mean, the people that are coming in here yelling and screaming, we don't tolerate. So there's good and bad to all of it. And even if like all the players didn't have social media right now, it wouldn't stop us from discussing what's going on, right? We'd still have this is a community of tennis fans. It doesn't matter if, because we're not talking directly to the players and we're not talking at, you know what I'm saying? Like this is different to talking like, to somebody getting angry at a certain player and then going onto socials and commenting on them. This is a different sort of, different thing. This is more of a community discussion than it is one angry person yelling at a player, virtually. Anyways, Samsonova serving for the match. Hey, coach, thank you for the 20. Very generous. Thank you for the 20. Appreciate that. All right, Samsonova serving for this match. 15 up. By the way, we've got Iga Swiatek coming up next, the Wimbledon champion. That's going to take some getting used to. I love it, but it's going to take some time to get used to that. 15 love. By the way, Samsonova has just served better today. It's just been a solid serving display by the number 13 seed. $15 love. As the return goes in the forehand of Samsonova. Backing out from Osaka. As Samsonova forehand into the backhand of Osaka. Samsonova forehand cross court winner. Beautiful shot. 30 love. Great hitting from Samsonova. All right, 30 love. Love. As Samsonova serves. A fault, second serve. Second serve. Into the forehand of Osaka. Samsonova backhand. Into the backhand of Osaka. Samsonova goes again. The backhand of Osaka. Into the backhand of Samsonova. Forehand from Osaka. As Samsonova forehand cross. Osaka slice it back. And Samsonova forehand. Osaka with a passing shot winner. Nice. 30-15. A bit of a silly question, but you think Samsonova could sneak a major in the future? Look, I think these days on the WTA, sneaking a major is much harder. But I think she could make... Look, she's definitely got a game that could make a semi-final or a final. But I don't know if... I said this the other day. Somebody else said a question about somebody else. I think winning a major in 2020, like in this right now on the WTA, is a lot tougher. You know, the top players are a lot more consistent than they were maybe 3-4 years ago. You know, in 2021, you know, even 2022, you could probably you could say that anyone could win. But these days, you know, Gauff is only getting better. Sabalenka, obviously Swiatek. You know, Keys winning a slam. I mean, it just feels like the top tier of player are the ones winning the slams, you know, at this stage. 4-0 from Samsonova. She's got match points. As Osaka again, the 4-0 Samsonova, and Samsonova hits it long, and it's 40-30. So I would say no. I don't think she could win a slam, sneak a slam, but I think she could probably make a run and maybe make the semis of a slam. I think that's a possibility for sure. She made a run at Wimbledon, right? She made the quarters of Wimbledon. You know, it was a good run. Did she lose to Swiatek in the end? I can't remember. Yeah, she lost to Swiatek, who won the title. So, you know, so she had a good run already. This, you know, but these days, because Sabalenka, Gauff, and Swiatek are so consistent at the slams, you got to beat two of them to win a slam, and that's not easy. Not to mention all the other players that are coming up. 4-4 rally. Samsonova to get the win as Osaka forehand again. The forehand of Samsonova. Osaka forehand on the stretch. Samsonova forehand down the line. Osaka backhand on the stretch. As Samsonova slice. Osaka gets over the forehand, puts it away. Good rally. We get the deuce. You know, you got to beat. I mean, Andreeva's only getting better. Pegula is solid. You know, there's so many players now that you got to beat to win a slam, and it's like, whereas, you know, like I said, back in like 3-4 years ago, we'd have so many upsets that it would open the door for so many players to have a run. Whereas these days, WTA is solid. Because if Gauff loses first round of Wimbledon, Sabalenka, Swiatek make the semis. You know, you still got to play one of them, right? You still got to play somebody tough. You know, it's not easy as it may be. Not as easy, you know. There's definitely a bit more of a gap at the top of the game than there was, you know, a couple of years ago. As we return now from Osaka into the forehand of Samsonova. Osaka forehand again, the forehand of Samsonova. As Osaka falling again to the forehand of Samsonova. Osaka down the line. Samsonova back on the stretch. Goes in the net. And Osaka gets a break back point to get back on serve here. Advantage Osaka. To get back on serve. Advantage Osaka. There's a bit of fault. Second serve. Double fault. Okay. Is that the first double fault of the day? No. First for Samsonova, though, and she gets broken for the first time today. Okay. No men's matches this week? Nah, fuck that. ATP this week is boring. I've boycotted the ATP this week because Sinner and Alcaraz and Djokovic pulled out. So, we're not watching. I'm not watching it because out of principle. That if the best names in the world aren't playing, then I ain't watching. If it's not good enough for them, we're not watching it. Fucking that. Yeah, bullshit. I'm pissed that they pulled out, so I'm not watching it. And then that'll show them. We're making a stand. No Alcaraz and Nole and Draper. I'm not watching that. And then hopefully they'll realize, oh no, we better play next year, otherwise people won't watch the tour. No, we're gonna watch ATP tomorrow. Today, there's just not been anything worth watching. The WTA's been way better. WTA's just been better so far this week. There's been nothing to watch on the men's side yet. Tomorrow we've got some good matches tomorrow though. All right, return goes to the back end of Osaka. Samsonova, who just got broken for the first time, hits a backhand wide and it's 30-15. Yeah, Fonseca lost early, so I'm not watching it. I'm pissed. I don't care. I ain't watching. No Fonseca, no ATP for me. 30-all. 30-all. By the way, Rublev won. And Shelton just started. So that's fun. 30-all. And the return goes into the backhand of Osaka. Samsonova forehand. Into the forehand of Osaka. Samsonova forehand in the line is wide. And it's 40-30. All right, double fault. And we get the deuce. All right. Backhand to backhand rally is Osaka. Goes into the forehand of Samsonova, and Samsonova hits it out. Advantage Osaka. Advantage Osaka. As Osaka holds, 6-5. 6-5. All right, 6-5. Osaka, who saved 2 match points, is now in the lead. All right. Nice one. I want Dimitrov to play again. I feel he could have beaten Sinner. He'll play again. I'm sure he'll come back. He's just got a road to recovery, you know. It's a painful injury. But he'll be back. He'll return, I'm sure. All right. Samsonova is going to serve to get to a tiebreak in the second set. Samsonova with an ace. 15 love. Love. As a return goes out by Osaka, 30 love. As Osaka wins a point, 30-15. As Samsonova in the net, and it's 30 all. As Samsonova serves a fault, second serve. As a return goes into the forehand of Samsonova. Forehand from Osaka. Into the forehand of Samsonova as Osaka backhand slice. Goes in, and then Samsonova hits a smash for a winner. And it's 40-30. $40-30 to get to the tiebreak. And Samsonova serves a fault, second serve. As the backhand return goes to front of Samsonova, she hits a winner. We get to a tiebreak. All right. Who's winning the tiebreak, chat? Who is winning the tiebreak? Who have you got, chat? I'm going to go with Osaka. I think we're going 3. All right. 1-0 Osaka. Osaka. Made a fault. Return goes in now on the second serve. To the backhand of Osaka. Forehand Samsonova. Osaka slices it back. And then Samsonova puts away the forehand winner. And it's 1-1. 1-1. As that goes out on the return from Osaka, and it's 2-1 Samsonova. As that goes out by Osaka, and it's 3-1 Samsonova. Osaka hits it long. As Osaka with a good serve that time, 3-2. 3-2 Samsonova. She's got the mini break. As that goes out by Osaka on the return. And Osaka is in trouble. 4-2 Samsonova. 3 points away from the win. All right, 4-2. Samsonova serves again. As the return goes out by Osaka, and it's 5-2 Samsonova. Osaka's still only 1 minute break, though. As that goes out by Samsonova on the return. 5-3. As the return goes back into Samsonova. Back in now from Osaka. Samsonova forehand on the stretch in the net. 5-4. Remember, Samsonova has had 2 match points already. So remember, she's already had a couple of chances to finish this match. Now she's serving for it again. 2 points away. Samsonova serving. And the return goes back into Samsonova. Drop shot's not good enough. Osaka gets it. Samsonova gets it back. Osaka with a volley, and then Samsonova slice. Osaka goes down the line. Up goes a lob by Samsonova, and it's out. Great rally by both. Osaka back on serve, 5-5. Great hustle by both. I mean, both had some crazy shots in that rally. 5-5. 5-all. As Samsonova serves a fault. Second serve. Second serve. Into the backhand of Osaka. Return goes in the forehand of Samsonova. As Osaka backhand the forehand of Samsonova, who's in the net. Now it's a set point, Osaka. From 5-2 down. Osaka's got a set point to take us to a third. (6-5) Osaka. To take us to a third. Osaka serves it back into Samsonova. Return goes back into Osaka, who hits it long. 6-all. They change ends. (6-6). All right, they change ends. By the way, Vidorovsky's in the house. I literally just saw him for the first time. All right, Osaka still serving at 6-6. We've had match points saved. We've had a set point saved. Who's going to get another one? Serve. There's a fault. Second serve. Serving to the forehand of Samsonova. Backing it from Osaka. Into the forehand of Samsonova. And she overhits it. 7-6 Osaka. To take us to a third. 7-6. To Osaka. All right. Samsonova serves. Set point number 2. First serve is a fault. Second serve. Serving to the backhand of Osaka. Return the backhand of Samsonova. Osaka backhand into the backhand of Samsonova. Again, the backhand of Osaka. Samsonova forehand. Osaka gets there with the backhand to the forehand of Samsonova. Again to the backhand of Osaka. Samsonova forehand. Shank goes out. We're going 3. Osaka fights her way through. And we're going to a third. All right. Osaka survives. And she came back from 5-2 down in that tiebreak too. All right, we're going 3. We're going 3. She's had 2 match points as well. All right, we're going 3. By the way, Chad, we've got some news that we need to discuss. So we're currently watching this the Canadian Open, and we've got Cincinnati coming up next week, and it's a big tournament for the US Open. We've obviously got a lot of players that didn't play Canada, but a lot of players coming back next week. A lot of players are not playing next week, though, so let's go to the withdrawal list because it's starting to look pretty stacked. All right, starting on the WTA side for the withdrawals from Cincinnati, we've got Badosa, she's pulled out. Jabeur also pulling out. Zhang has also pulled out. All of those players might not play the US Open as well. I know Zhang has already pulled out of that. And Eala has also pulled out. She had a shoulder problem this week in Canada, and she has also pulled out of Cincinnati with the shoulder issues. So that's a bit of a shame. On the men's side of things, we've got Berrettini. He's pulled out. Brooksby's pulled out. Bublik, he's also pulled out. Dimitrov has also withdrawn. Jack Draper has also pulled out of Cincinnati, and he's in doubt for the US Open, so we'll keep an eye on him. And Hubie Hurkacz as well has also pulled out. So some big names there that are not going to be playing in Cincinnati. And of course, a lot of those names also didn't play in Canada. So you got to question whether or not most of those players won't be playing in the US Open in a couple of weeks, especially the ones that didn't play in Canada and Cincinnati. You know, Eala, I think she'll be back and probably playing in the US Open. But, you know, Draper being the big one on the men's side, definitely got to keep an eye on whether or not he does make it to New York. So there it is. That is the withdrawal list, and it's starting to look a little scary. I mean, this time of year, we do get a lot of players that are, you know, fatigued or injured and don't play these tournaments. But the US Open, it's, you know, the last Grand Slam of the year, and there's already a lot of big names that are in doubt for the US Open. But let me know in the comments below. Who are you going to miss the most in Cincinnati? It's a shame that Dimitrov, you know, I think he's probably the hardest hit injury. You know, it hurts the most because he's, you know, been such a great player over the time, and he's, you know, having to pull out because of the injury that he got at Wimbledon. But let me know in the comments below. Who are you going to miss the most at Cincinnati? But there it is. That's a withdrawal list for Cincinnati, and it starts in about a week's time. There you go, chat. Growing injury list. Yeah, Draper's been injured. I'm not sure exactly what the injury is for Draper, but yeah, he has been injured for the last couple of tournaments, and he's got a semi-final in New York that he's got to defend. So his ranking is a little bit at stake, you know. he can't afford to miss the US Open. His ranking will drop. He'll probably drop towards, the bottom half of the top 10. All right. Draper sounded confident about New York when he withdrew from Canada Cincy at the same time last week. Yeah, but I don't know. I'm worried for Draper. Maybe I'm a little too worried. Overcautious, I feel like going to the US Open having not played since Wimbledon is not great. Like, I don't think that's a good... Like, I don't think anyone who's not played before the US Open is in a good position for the US Open. Like, it's different not playing before Wimbledon and then winning Wimbledon, but, that happens more. But I don't think you can not play on hard courts and then, go to the US Open with no hard court tennis since Miami. Like, I just don't think that's a... I don't like that. That makes me nervous, That's not good preparation. At least I don't think it's good preparation. By the way, players have just left the court. That's what we're waiting for.
The Canadian Open. We've got Cincinnati coming up next.
All right.
Big tournament for the US Open. We've obviously got a lot of players that didn't play Canada, but a lot of...
All right. I don't know who went. I think Samsonova went to the bathroom. Remember, she had multiple match points in that set as well to get the job done. Osaka, sorry, she went to the bathroom.
For the withdrawals from Cincinnati, we've got Boronia, she's pulled out. Jabeur also pulling out.
All right.
Also pulled out. All those players might not play the US Open as well. Young's already pulled out that. And Eala has also pulled out. She had a shoulder problem this week in Canada, and she's also pulled out with a shoulder issue. That's a bit of a shame. On the men's side of things, we've got Berrettini, he's pulled out. Brooks, he's pulled out.
Pardon me. This would be a great comeback for Osaka if she does complete the comeback. Osaka just talking to the coach, or the trial coach. By the way, I noticed some people in the chat have asked about, like, why is Victorovsky coaching if he said he didn't want to coach? It's Naomi Osaka. Like, I feel like there's only a few players that if a coach decides to, like, retire, there's only a certain amount of players that you would be crazy to say no to, and I think Osaka's one of them. Like, as if you're going to be like, oh yeah, I'm not going to, no, sorry Naomi Osaka, 4-time Grand Slam champion, I don't want to work with you. Like, come on, I mean... Like, I think he'd be crazy to at least not give the trial a shot, It'd be crazy for him not to be like, oh yeah, I'll come and work with you for a little bit. Because if she wins the US Open, he's a genius, right? Like, he's crazy if, I mean, he's a genius if he wins, if she wins the US Open as him as the coach, right? I mean, that's why if he wouldn't have come out for no reason. And if he believes that she can win the US Open, and if she does win the US Open, he gets so much credit for that, But also, if it doesn't work out, he can just go back and chill. So I feel like it's sort of a win-win for him, And again, like, who else would there's only a few players on the WTA that I think you would consider even if you were in retirement or if you were thinking you weren't going to coach, right? And I think, Swiatek, Sabalenka, Gauff, and Osaka, I think they're the 4 players that you would be like, yeah, they're the 4 players that you can't really say no to. Like you'd be crazy to say no, turn down a coaching offer from them. I think there's a lot of other players that, you'd be like, I don't really want to work with. You'd want to work with either successful players that have already, done it, or, I don't think he wants to work with someone who hasn't won a slam, and try and get them to get to it. Like he's not, that seems to be like what he doesn't want to do, right? At least that seems, from the outside, that's what it feels like. So I think anyone who's going to be like, oh, he said he wasn't going to play. Or he said he wasn't going to coach. Yeah, but, this is the exception, I think. Andreeva, I don't know if you want, Andreeva's got a great coach anyway. I don't think she wants to change, but I don't think Vicharovsky would want to coach Andreeva because she's starting from, she hasn't won a slam yet. I think you want to coach somebody who, I think you want to coach somebody who, who's been there and done that, so you don't have to do all that learning. Teach them how to be in a final, how to deal with the pressure. They've already dealt with all that, so it's like, oh well, I'm just going to help you, like change a couple of little things that will get you to be back where you were. Like it's a lot easier than starting from zero, right? Or starting from someone who's hasn't won a slam yet, So I think it's a no-brainer that, again, it's only a trial. It's not a full commitment yet. It's only a trial. So we'll see what happens after this, but you'd be crazy, not to at least see how it goes. And if Osaka wins this match by saving match points, that's a great start to your coaching trial. She saves match points under your watch. Come on now. And she goes on to win. That's an impressive way to start your trial. Against a player that you've had tough matches against, it's to get through it. That would be something special. Be a hell of a start. Anyways, everyone's gonna be like, of course they should work together forever. All right, Samsonova hits it out at 30-40. By the way, Samsonova is probably thinking about those match points that she didn't take advantage of at the end of that second set. 30-40, first serve a fault, second serve. And Osaka does break. Was that a double fault? Sorry, Chad, I'm multitasking. All right. Osaka breaks. First game of the third. One love. Well, I shot won the first set 6-2 against Manarino. And also, my joint is 2-all in the third. All right. 1-love Osaka. Is it a backhand into the forehand of Samsonova? Backhand from Osaka goes long, and it's love 15. All right. Love 15. The backhand rally. As it goes in the forehand of Osaka. Forehand now from Samsonova. Forehand from Osaka again. The forehand of Samsonova. Samsonova hits a wide, and it's 15-0. All right. $30-15. Good serving. Osaka needs to amp up the decibels and roar a bit more. Like during a Grand Slam, her slam run again. And maybe. You know. By the way, chat, I mean, if you weren't here, some news, big news coming out of Cincinnati. A lot of news. A lot of things to cover. Nadal returns. No, that's definitely not happening. All right, Osaka 2-love. 2-0. All right, 2-0. Runa texting Kudermetova is not the only news. Yeah, because that's gossipy bullshit that is so stupid. Like, Chad, are you seriously interested in the fact that somebody messaged somebody and that the other person spoke about it candidly on a podcast? I mean, who cares? Who cares? 15-love. Who gives a shit? Runa, good. You know, Runa texted somebody. Oh no. Who cares? All right, 30-love. Love. Halep, Nadal mixed doubles would go crazy. Yeah, I mean, that would turn the U.S. Open mixed doubles into a real exhibition. Then it couldn't be a slam at that point. Don't care. Okay, cool. Yeah. 40-love. I've been ace out wide. All right, 2-1. Osaka. All right, 2-1. Osaka in the third with the break. By the way, Samsonova's got a trainer on court. It looks like a foot injury. Maybe some blisters. Have to go to Tennessee later, or is Joanne? We'll see you later. Good luck. Hope you win. Yeah, I think it's just blisters. She's got a lot of tape on her foot. Lot of tape. I thought it was interesting. Look, chap. If you like, people love, gossip and all that shit. I don't. But I also don't want to I also feel that not the need to if somebody messaged somebody privately, and then the other person decided to make that public. I'm not gonna, out of respect for Bruna, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to. I don't care. Not only do I not care, but I just don't feel like it's necessary to talk about, because there's a private message between them two, and it doesn't need to be. We don't need to give it any more. Just let it be. Medical timeout. And look, Kudermetova has every. She was on a podcast and she just was speaking candidly. Obviously, maybe wasn't meaning to make it a deal of anything, but again, it's not deep. Yeah, but I just don't care, to be honest. I don't care, and I also feel like there's better things to talk about. I want to talk about other things. Samsonova's got a medical timeout on a blister on the back of her foot. It's a nasty place to have a blister, like on her heel. But like I said, you like that shit, that's fine. We all like different stuff. I don't want to waste time talking about it. Just tuned in, been busy. Did Eala withdraw from Cincy? Yeah, go check out the news. No worries, Kevin. Thanks for being here. They should wear Soul Air Jordan shoes. Really? Who's playing Umbako next? She's on fire. Yeah. She's playing Buzkova, who's in great form. So that's not going to be easy. That is not going to be easy. Just having a look at what else is going on at the moment. Not much going on. Townsend is beating up Bronzetti at this stage. Buzkova might be tight. Yeah, she won a tournament in Prague and then travelled over here and she keeps winning. So, yeah, Mboko could beat Buzkova if she might be fatigued. She looked so good yesterday. I think she can win that match too. Yeah, but Buzkova's in great form. But yeah, it'll come down to fatigue, whether or not Buzkova's, because it's a lot to win a title and then. We saw Fernanda. She won a title and then just traveled a couple of hours, from Washington to Montreal, same time zone. Whereas Buzkova's gone from winning in Prague, traveling, probably 10 hours to get to Canada and then playing again. I mean, that's a lot of, you got to be tired. She got to be feeling some tiredness. Also, I think she's playing doubles too, right? Or she played doubles. So she's got to be, Mboko has a chance for sure. Did Buzkova play doubles? Maybe she didn't. She might have missed the sign up. Yeah, she usually does play doubles, but she's not. Good choice, not playing doubles for this one. But yeah, so Mboko's got a chance. That'll be a chance. All right, we're back on court. Osaka, love 15. Samsonova backhand return to the front of Osaka. Samsonova forehand to the backhand again of Osaka. Into the back of the Samsonova. Back at Osaka down the line. Samsonova forehand to the net. 15 all. Oh, me. $15 all. Why'd you delete that? You should change the postcard wall to a selfie wall for people in this community to send selfies and them warning you, but not me. To send selfie of them warning you. I don't know what that means. Anyways, 40-15. Now the reason why we had a postcard wall is because we had a physical wall of postcards. And also postcards are easier to. People don't want to. People don't want their picture all over the. They don't want. They don't want to be. They don't want to have their photo They don't want to put a face to the name, and that's fine. They want to be say private, so. That's fine. All right. Osaka leads 3-1 in the third. And the postcard wall, the postcards are still a way of, you can stay anonymous, but still be able to be, you can have your postcard. By the way, I've got a lot of postcards. I went to the PO box yesterday, and I've got a lot of postcards. So remind me at some point today, we're going to go through it. Oh, watching you. Oh, yeah. Again, I think a lot of people just want to kind of, just stay private. They don't want to have their face, especially they don't want to have their face in front of this many people, right? It's pretty confronting. So the postcard was not a bad idea, but I think the postcards are working well, so we'll stick with that. Love 15. All right, love 30. As with a backhand down the line from Osaka. That's a win. I love 40. Jeez. Remember, Osaka did save 2 match points. As we return out of the forehand of Samsonova, and Osaka with a forehand winner. Osaka's run away with this. Okay. Here we go. Osaka with the double break, 4-1 in the third. Everything Victorovsky touches turns gold. Hey, look. I think it's a combination of, again, like I said earlier, I don't think he wouldn't just be coaching anybody. He wouldn't just come out and be like, yeah, I'll just coach some like new kid, right? But coaching Osaka, he knows that a lot of the hard work's already been done, right? A lot of the fundamentals are there. A lot of the success is already there. He's probably just going to have to do a couple of little things to help her regain that again, So, yeah. So, and look, this is obviously a great win if she gets there, and and what a start to their trial. But in the long term, if they do work together, I think it will help Osaka. She doesn't need somebody who's new to coaching, and she's definitely not new to playing. So, maybe it is Victorovsky to take her game back to the level that it was, in 2021. I appreciate you are a classy fellow who steers away from negativity no matter what. Yeah, I just don't. There's enough negativity going on. We don't need to add to it. We're here to have fun. We're watching a game. Games are supposed to be fun, there's so much serious shit going on. Chad, does anyone else feel like 10 years ago things were less serious? Everything's so serious these days. We're just relaxed, There's so much serious shit going on already. We don't need to add to that. As Osaka can't get that one. 15-0. All right, 15-0. Adults had it easier in the 90s than we do. Well, 10 years ago was not the 90s. If the 90s was 10 years ago, then my internet would be on dial-up and we wouldn't be here. YouTube wasn't a thing. This would be like I don't even know what this would be. 15-0. You struggle with math? That's all right. Me too. As with a forehand to the backhand of Samsonova. Backhand from Osaka on the stretch. Samsonova forehand into the forehand of Osaka to the backhand of Samsonova. As Osaka can't get that one. Samsonova 15-30. 15-30. $15-30. As a default, second serve. Second serve, Osaka. Into the backhand of Samsonova. Forehand from Osaka goes wide. 15-40 to get one of the breaks back. 15-40. As we return now to the forehand of Osaka. Down the line to the backhand of Samsonova. Osaka forehand in the net. There's one of the breaks back. 4-2. 4-2. One of the breaks back. By the way, Sevastova just beat Lynette. That's a good win. She went and had a baby, came back, and then had a reconstructive knee surgery, and then came back again. So she's like coming back from the comeback. So that's a great win. She was top 10 like 7-8 years ago. All right. 15 love. $30 love. Oh, she had 2 kids, did she? She had 2 babies. There you go. All right, first serve is a fault, second serve. As the return goes in forehand to Samsonova. 4 now from Osaka to forehand to Samsonova. Samsonova hits a winner, 40 love. After careful consideration, I've decided to make myself some cereal. What kind? What you got? What's the flavor? 40 love. $40 love. As we return now to the backhand of Samsonova. Backhand now from Osaka in the net. And it's 4-3. Bottom of Cav's finger. I cut it off. Accidentally cut it off. That was fun. It wasn't really. Trade your cold for raging Canadian heat. Now I'm good. I like the cold. I'm happy to sit here in cold. It's fine. I'll take the cold all day. All right. Watch it bleed. Just watch it bleed, right? No, that was the worst. But I have to go to the doctor again tomorrow to make sure it's going okay. But yeah, that was not a fun experience. Would not recommend. I would not recommend cleaning the filters, the metal filters on your cooking stove range. I don't know what you call it. Exhaust fan. Do not do that. Do not touch those. At least, or wear metal gloves. Also, don't advise cutting your hand and going to the hospital in general. Now, I didn't need stitches. I got this. They glued it back together. They got this new stuff that they use instead of stitches, where they, if it's not a big gash, they can they put this glue around your wound, and they it sticks it together. That was the worst part. that was this, that, and the first part, slicing the finger was sore, and then the gluing was sore. That were the two bad parts of the night. Everything in between was fine. Everything in between was whatever, They can just glue you back together. Yeah. It's like medical. Yeah, it's called Dermabond. It's like a medical glue. That's not a. They don't have to use stitches then. It's a yeah. All right. 30 love. Osaka still has the break here. 30 love. Osaka serves again. I'm having some cereal too. Raisin Bran and Honey Nut Cheerios. I haven't decided yet which one. Yeah, I love cereal. I really do. I just don't eat it because I know that it's not good for you. 40 love. But if it was good for you, I would have it. I would eat it every day. I love Cocoa Pops. Fruit Loops. Honey Nut is actually underrated. As with a 5-3. But I don't eat cereal. I wish I could, but I try not to. I have eggs on toast instead. You were very brave. Thank you. I was. I didn't even cry. I didn't even cry. 5-3. Is healthcare expensive in Australia? No, healthcare is really good here. We have a good healthcare system, so it is fine. If you've got a medical insurance, then the hospital emergency is free. And I don't know what I'm not sure. Like, when you grow up in this, you just don't know. Like, you just kind of go, okay, yeah, I'll just go to the doctors and it cost me this, and then they give you a refund. I don't know what the percentages and stuff are, but yeah, we got a good healthcare system in Australia. 15 love. Goes to the backhand goes in the forehand of Osaka. And Osaka gets a winner. 15-0. Joint lost. Damn, that's rough. She was winning that one. Kessler's been good though. I mean, Kessler's had a good year. Yeah, we're watching Swiatek next. Don't lose your mind. We're gonna watch her next. Don't worry. 15-0. There's a return from Osaka. Goes in the forehand of Samsonova. Samsonova in the net. 15-30. 15-30. Osaka 2 points away from the win. All right, 15-30. As the return goes back into Samsonova. Osaka forehand to the forehand of Samsonova. Into the forehand of Osaka. Samsonova backhand. Into the forehand of Osaka. Samsonova forehand again. Cross court is good. That's 30-0. 30-0. Trust me, you live longer without healthcare. That seems counterproductive. What the hell? Anyways, what do you mean? As it a 4-0 from Samsonova in the net, and it's match point Osaka 30-40. If I didn't go to the hospital to get my fingers checked, and I did my own surgery, I might have lost my finger. So I feel like that. God knows what could have happened. So I do not agree. Hospitals are hungry for money. Not in Australia. They're there to help you. Maybe in certain parts of the world, but not everywhere. In Australia, like they're there to help. You know. At least that's, you know. I went in, hung out for 4 hours, and then left. Yeah. But that's because we got a different system, maybe. Maybe it's in your world, maybe it's different. Anyways, back in return, match point 30-40 as Samsonova hits a winner, and we get to do both have had match points now. Cauterize it yourself. Yeah, I should have just done that. Deuce. Yeah, maybe in the US it's different, but here in Australia, I mean, yeah, if you go to the, I mean, there's way more cases I think of people just ignoring symptoms and not going to the doctors, and bad things happening. So, you know, but I get it. There's more to talk about. Anyways, 4-4 rally. It's more to think about when you're in America, I guess. You know, it's a different system. Forehand winner there. Nope. Osaka gets a backhand pass. Samsonova with a lovely pickup, but Osaka's there with a passing shot winner. Advantage Osaka to take the win. All right. Advantage Osaka. Match point number 2. To put her into the 3rd round. Yeah, Samsonova had 2 match points in the second set. As a return goes into the forehand of Samsonova. Forehand from Osaka on the stretch. Samsonova forehand again. The forehand of Osaka is Samsonova backhand goes wide. Osaka gets the win. Good comeback. Naomi Osaka saves match points and gets the job done. And the trial with Vicharovsky starts off with a bang. All right. That was a good match. That was a quality match. And Osaka gets the win. She's into the 3rd round. She's going to take on, in a couple of days, she's going to go take on somebody. Oh, it could be Ostapenko. Ooh, Penko Osaka. 3rd round, maybe. So there you go. Good win. Good win. Osaka gets it in 3. And she saved match points, which is cherry on the top of the cake. But good win. Love that for her. And Vicharovsky, I mean, he's probably thinking, shit, what a great start. I'm glad I flew all the way to Montreal this week. Okay, now we're going to watch Swiatek, who everybody's making jokes about how they've traded coaches. Yeah, Vicharovsky's with Osaka and Wim Fizet's gone to Swiatek. And they're both been successful. So let's have a look from one match. So jump on over. We're going to talk about Swiatek and what was the name? Guo. I'm going to get it right. I'm going to redo the thing so I can remember it. But Osaka wins 4-6, 7-6, 6-3. She saves 2 match points. And she will be playing against possibly Ostapenko in a few days. So make sure you're ready for that one. But Iga Swiatek is next.